outspoken, I started to understand women a little bit more as I got, early on.
What if I told you that one of the greatest players in NBA history is also one of its most misunderstood? That behind the scoring titles, the championships, and the endless headlines lies a story of isolation, identity, and unshakable conviction? This is not just Kevin Durant de ballet. This is Kevin Durant de enigma. And once you hear the full story, you might never see him the same way again. Kevin Durant is a name that divides basketball fans like few others. To some, he's the ultimate scorer, a lanky, unstoppable offensive weapon who has redefined modern basketball. To others, he's the face of disloyalty, a player who took the easy way out to chase rings. But whether you love him or criticize him, Durant's journey through the NBA is a story of unmatched talent, complicated decisions, and unrelenting belief in himself. Born in Washington, D.C., Durant's early life was far from glamorous. His father walked out when Kevin was just a child, leaving his mother, Wanda Pratt, to raise him and his siblings alone. The family faced financial hardship, but Wanda's determination and Kevin's quiet intensity would eventually shape one of the most gifted athletes of his generation. As a child, Durant was reserved and introverted, but when he picked up a basketball, something lit up inside him. He was tall, even as a kid, but what shocked coaches and opponents alike was his footwork and ball handling, traits usually found in guards, not big men. Durant combined height with finesse, and that rare blend made him a standout early. After a dominant freshman season at the University of Texas, where he won National Player of the Year honors, Durant entered the 2007 NBA Draft. The Seattle Supersonics selected him with the second overall pick. That would be their final season before the franchise relocated to Oklahoma City and became the Thunder, marking the beginning of Durant's professional legacy. Durant made an instant impact in his rookie season, winning Rookie of the Year with ease. His scoring instincts, shooting range, and poise under pressure were already elite. Fans and analysts could see this wasn't just a star in the making. This was someone who could define an era. With the Thunder, Durant teamed up with Russell Westbrook and later James Harden. The trio, all under 23, became the league's most exciting young core. Durant led the team with quiet confidence, becoming a four-time scoring champion and earning league MVP honors in 2014. But despite all the accolades, one thing kept eluding him: an NBA championship. In 2012, Durant reached the NBA Finals, squaring off against LeBron James and the Miami Heat. Despite his brilliance on the court, OKC fell short. For many fans, it felt like a beginning, a stepping stone. But year after year, the team ran into injury trouble, chemistry issues, and Western Conference heartbreaks. By 2016, things came to a head. Durant and the Thunder blew a 3-1 lead in the Western Conference Finals against the Golden State Warriors, the very team that had just set an NBA record with 73 wins. That summer, Durant made a decision that would change the league and his reputation forever. He joined the Warriors. Almost immediately, the backlash was seismic. Fans and former players called him soft. Memes flooded the internet. Jerseys were burned. Durant, once a beloved underdog, was now seen as a villain. But amid the chaos, Durant stood firm. He wanted to win, and he believed Golden State was the place to do it. With Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green, Durant joined what was already a historic team. But rather than clash, he blended in seamlessly. In his first season with the Warriors, Durant dominated in the playoffs and captured his first NBA title, along with the Finals MVP trophy. A year later, he did it again. Another ring, another final MVP. On the court, Durant was in total control, efficient, unguardable, and composed. But off the court, the criticisms didn't stop. Some argued he had taken the easy path. Others said he ruined competitive balance in the league. Durant began clapping back. On Twitter, he got into spats with fans and media. He was vocal, emotional, and unapologetic. For the first time, the NBA world saw a new side of him, one that wasn't afraid to speak out or confront narratives. But behind the dominance, tensions began to bubble. A heated exchange with Draymond Green during a game became public. Reports circulated that the chemistry was deteriorating. Durant grew distant, and despite winning, he seemed restless. It felt like the dynasty was crumbling from within. After the 2018-19 season, Durant made another shocking move. He left the Warriors and joined the Brooklyn Nets, linking up with Kyrie Irving. The goal was clear: build a new powerhouse and control their own destiny. But the universe had other plans. Just weeks before joining Brooklyn, Durant tore his Achilles in the finals. He missed the entire 2019-20 season. For many athletes, such an injury would spell the end of elite play. But Durant's comeback was extraordinary. When he returned, he looked like he'd never left. The net assembled a super team with Durant, Irving, and James Harden. On paper, it was unbeatable. But in reality, things never clicked. Injuries plagued the trio, and off-court controversies, from vaccine drama to personal issues, tore the team apart. The trio played fewer than 20 games together. In 2022, Harden was traded. In 2023, Irving demanded a trade and was sent to Dallas. Suddenly, Durant was alone again, stuck in a franchise that went from title favorite to full-blown rebuild. In a dramatic mid-season trade, Durant was sent to the Phoenix Suns. The move gave fans hope. Pairing him with Devin Booker and Chris Paul looked like a recipe for success. Once again, Durant seemed ready for another title run. But reality hit hard. Injuries, poor team depth, and lack of chemistry led to an early playoff exit. Durant played well, as usual, but the narrative of unfulfilled expectations began to resurface. Was time running out? Despite being 6'10" and one of the most gifted scorers ever, Durant wasn't immortal. Age was creeping in. Though his skills hadn't diminished much, the injuries were piling up, and fans began wondering, how much longer can he do this? Off the court, Durant's media battles continued. He criticized journalists, called out false narratives, and even used burner accounts, something that became internet legend. To many, he was overly sensitive. To others, he was simply human. Durant insisted he wasn't trying to be a role model. He just wanted to play ball and speak his mind. And in a league full of polished media responses, his raw honesty was both refreshing and polarizing. In 2024, as he approached his late 30s, Durant became the subject of new rumors. Reports emerged that he was seeking a 2-year, $120 million extension. Critics called it unrealistic. Analysts questioned his value. Durant, of course, fired back with confidence. Then came the Houston rumors. Few believed them. The Rockets were rebuilding. Why would Durant go there? But once again, he shocked everyone. In the summer of 2025, Kevin Durant joined the Houston Rockets. Some called it brilliant. Houston had young talent and cap space. Durant could mentor the next generation and still compete. Others said it was a swan song, a graceful exit plan masked as ambition. Regardless of opinion, Durant embraced the challenge. In interviews, he emphasized growth, mentorship, and legacy. He still believed in his greatness, and his performance, averaging over 25 points per game, supported that belief. But the question lingered: what would Durant be remembered for? His titles in Golden State, the feuds super team in Brooklyn, the constant moving from team to team, or the fact that no matter where he went, he remained elite? Durant's legacy is complicated. He's one of the greatest scorers ever. He's a 2-time Finals MVP. But unlike players like Kobe or Duncan, he doesn't have a home team. He's a basketball nomad, brilliant but rootless. For some fans, that makes his legacy harder to define. For others, it's proof of adaptability. Few players could jump from team to team and remain consistently dominant. Durant did it all while being true to himself. Love him or not, Durant changed the league. He shifted how stars made decisions. He showed it was okay to prioritize winning, control, or happiness, even if it meant backlash. In many ways, Durant was ahead of his time. A generation of players now follows his path, switching teams, ignoring critics, building brands on and off the court. Durant's story isn't over yet. He's still writing chapters. But already, his career is one of the most fascinating in NBA history, a mix of talent, drama, resilience, and evolution. He may never win another ring. He may never silence all his doubters. But maybe that was never the point. Maybe Durant's journey was always about more than trophies. It was about identity, about choosing yourself in a world that demands conformity, about staying the course when everyone tells you to change. Kevin Durant didn't play to be loved. He played because he loved the game. And in doing so, he inspired a new generation not just to play better, but to live boldly. He wasn't perfect. He made mistakes, picked fights, and said things he probably regrets. But that's what makes his story real. He was flawed, passionate, and honest. Years from now, when fans talk about the 2010s and 2020s, they'll remember the MVP seasons, the Twitter battles, the clutch shots, and the controversies. They'll remember Kevin Durant. Because you can't tell the story of the modern NBA without him. He wasn't just a part of the narrative. He shaped it. And maybe, when all is said and done, Kevin Durant's greatest achievement won't be the points he scored or the rings he won, but the courage he had to always do things his way. In a league built on image, Kevin Durant chose authenticity. He didn't ask for your approval. He didn't follow the script. He just played and lived his way. Love him or hate him, one thing's for sure, Kevin Durant never blended in. And in a world full of noise, being unapologetically yourself might just be the loudest legacy of all.